All right, it's material time. So before do anything, let's get rid of all the test materials I made. You're not removing any material by doing that in the materials section. So if I delete that right here, it still exists right about here in this drop down. So the way to delete a material or anything permanently is to go to this drop down and choose Blender file. And from here, go to materials and grab them all by shift and right click, delete. All right, that's good, all removed. Let's go back to the layer view. And now let's start from top to bottom. Let's go push this timeline down and grab from this top here and make another view right here. So let's keep this one as a 3D viewport. So I'm gonna go to the render also, and the way you can scroll this top header thingy right here is to hold the middle mouse button and grab, drag. So let's go hit N and T, hide these panels, and this one is render 3D. Let's go from up here, change this view to shader editor. We have the end panel right here as well. We're going to discuss that in a minute. So grab your cap right there, and the empty materials are here. Let me go and delete them one by one. That's distracting. So back to cap. All right, here we have two options to add a new material. One is from up here, new, and another here in the property panel, new. So both doing the same thing, adding a principled BSDF, the default shader for Blender. All right, default shader is actually good for almost everything, and other than volumetric stuff, we're gonna use them also. So for this kind of stuff right here, I'm using the Blender principled BSDF, combining with maybe some normal and custom roughness. So in the shader, first of all, we have the material output right here, and we have two input for shaders, surface shader and volumetric shaders. Also, we have displacement shader and the new thickness that only applies to the EV right here. We are in cycle, so the thickness is not good for this render engine. All right, connecting to the surface shader is the shader, obviously. So shaders are here, right click, or use this add up here, or even search with the spacebar. So I'm gonna use right click for this one. So add shaders, and we have this much shaders. Some of them outdated, some of them for hair and volumetric stuff, some of them for tune and scattering stuff. But the shaders we're gonna use are volume absorption and also the principled volume combining with the principled BSDF. So BSDF is by default created. So let's go ahead and see what's happening inside this shader. We have base color. Yeah, obviously. If you change the base color, you're changing the color of this surface right there. So let me go RGB all the way up to go to the white. So below that we have the metallic. So metallic, as the name implies, we can change the surface to metallic by using that. Right now it's not completely reflective because we need to mess with the roughness as well. So if I drop the roughness Now it's shiny as possible right here. I can see myself inside there. And if I go all the way up to 1, it's still metal, but it's really, really rough. So for this color, I'm gonna use a kind of goldy color. So I have the color in my other screen. So let me grab that right there. And as soon as I drop the roughness, the metalness gonna show right here. A little bit more, and maybe for this cap, let's go 0.3. Not fully shiny, not fully rough. So first of all, let me go and add another subsurf, make it smoother. So we set the metallic and roughness. The other thing is IOR, or index of reflection. So different materials has different IOR, or index of reflection. For example, air is 1, or maybe bronze 180, and copper 1, I believe 1.1, and diamond 2.4 or 5 or something, and gold 0.47, I believe. So for this one, I'm using maybe a, let's go bronze. So 1.180, and that's the index of reflection for this metal part. And that's enough. So below that we have alpha. So the alpha is basically the opacity of the material or mesh. So let's drop that, and the mesh is disappearing. Not completely, it's still rendering the shadow and some weird shape right there. For this one, we don't need to mess with that, so keep it at 1. We have normal. So normal is the bumpiness, or fake, let's say displacement or something like that. So let me demonstrate that. So I'm gonna use a noise node. So noise, basically it's a noise. So let me go ahead, add a noise material, noise texture right there. In the noise texture we have type of the noise and 3D 2D. You don't need to mess with that. For now it's 3D is more than enough. And the scale, detail, roughness, and other stuff, we're gonna play with that in a second. So to distribute this noise on top of the mesh, we need a texture coordinate. So let's go and make sure you have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled right here, because we need the hotkey. Let me see, hotkey of Control Shift and left click to show this one. So the hotkey is actually connecting the output from the node or any other node to the surface. And with that, we can see the node or noise projected on our surface. So if I grab the scale and push it really high, you see, it's actually projecting real good, even in this curve. All right. But to project even better, you need to have the texture coordinate, as I said before. So the hotkey for making the texture coordinate is Ctrl T. When you have the Node Wrangler, remember, you need the Node Wrangler to have this one. Otherwise, you need to, let's see, you need to go ahead and search for mapping, vector mapping. That's this node. Connect that to the vector and texture coordinate right there. And that's this node. And that's the same result. So with the control and right click, also you can disconnect the nodes. Let me delete that. Go up here, connect that vector back to the vector. Inside the vector, we have location, rotation, and scale. So if I use x-axis, you can move the noise towards x-axis or y or z. So similar to that, you have the rotation. See the result right there. And scale. Scale actually doing this as a scale, but in the individual axis right there. So grab them all, 1, sorry. Grab them all, drag, and 0. We have several options for the texture projection. One is generated, and generated is basically the same thing as the noise projection. So that's no different. Another one is normal, based on the normal of the mesh. This is no good for us. Next is the UV. We don't have any UV, and we might not do any UV unwrapping. So next is object. It's kind of similar to the generated. And next is a camera. And actually, as you see, it's projecting based on your view right there. Sometimes it might help. And window is actually projecting in a flat manner. So I don't know what that's good for. So another one is reflection. I'm not using this one either. Let's go back to generated. So let's use this noise as a bump. So I'm gonna go really high. To use this as normal, we need another node, and that would be the bump node. So space and search for bump. And you see the path to this node. It's going to be a vector to bump. So if you wanted to use right click to search, go to add, right click, or up here, add, and go to vector, and you will find the bump. You can grab a node and hover it over the path to the surface and let it go. And now this node is showing in the viewport. For this bump, we actually need to grab with left click and put the output of vector from noise to height. And that's gonna be our normal. It's too much, obviously. So let me go 0.1, even less, 0.05, and maybe 0.03. Yeah. All right. Now that we made the bump, let's connect it to the proper input. That would be normal. All right, grab this surface, either connect it manually or use the node wrangler hotkey, and that would be Ctrl Shift left click. And if you look really close, you can see the bump. It's still a little bit too high, so 0.01. Yeah, that's good. All right, that's basically our material for the cap. So let's go to the next option. We're not going to use this option, the subsurface scattering, and that's basically is determine how much light penetrating the surface and scatter inside the object. So to show that, let me drop the metallic and put the 1 as weight. Right now it's kind of look like a wax. So we have some option, some type of the subsurface scattering. Default is random walk. We have random walk skin and the belly. Random walk is good. So we have a radius. So if I hit radius of 1, and scale of the scatter. Now it's more like a plastic right there. You see how much light penetrating and how much light absorbing by the shape right there. So let's go drop the weight, bring back the metalness, and close the surface. Next we have specular. So here we have the type of specular or reflection, GGX or multi-scatter GGX. And that's actually the way Blender scattering the light after hitting the surface. So you have the level of IOR and also tint. So you have the option to change the color of reflection. Let's go maybe over blue stuff right here. You can see up here the color is changed. Let's bring it back to the default. Now it's white. And we have anisotropic. That's going to twist the light and reflection right there. We have anisotropic rotation. You see the effect. For this one, I don't need any anisotropic. I want the reflection as it is. We have transmission down here. Transmission. We make glass, gummy bear, and other stuff with this, and also water, bubbles, and you see, it's kind of jello-y, and that's because we have roughness right here. If I drop the roughness, it's going to change completely like a glass. So let's bring back the roughness, drop the transmission, and add the metallic. Below that we have coat. Coat is coat, obviously. If I add coat weight, now we have a coat of this color with this IOR, with this roughness all over the place. So now if I add another node, let's go noise, and let's drag select them all right here and hit duplicate. All right, let's go and hit Control Shift left click to see that, to preview that noise, and drop the scale right there. And it's time to discover another node, and that would be ramp or color ramp. Space and search for color ramp and drag drop it here. With this, we can actually level the node below. So node from input to node from output, we can change the brightness for the bright areas or drive the dark areas. Let me add a bit detail right here. You see the detail here. All right. So let's go ahead, connect the surface back to the surface and use this color as a weight of the coat. So now we have coat only in this area. Let me add some color to see the coat a little bit better. Right here we have the coat and we have the option to drive that coat. Right here. So we don't need coat. I'm gonna disconnect that and drop the weight. And by dropping the weight, we are basically shutting that down. Below that we have sheen, and sheen actually used in fabrics. So same thing kinda to the code. So let me add some weight to the sheen. As you can see, we have some white stuff based on normal. So if I connect the color ramp that we had right here to the weight, I can use this one just like the code. Even have a tint right there. All right, drop the weight. And below that we have emission or emissive. And that's a way to change the mesh and kinda force it to act as a light source. So let me go and introduce some strength and maybe color. And if I go up here and check this scene word and basically make the HDR light off, you see? This cap's actually acting as a light source. That's nice. All right, let's go drop that to 0. And the thin film also added some thickness to the glass. We don't use that. That's the advanced topic. Still bring back the light and also the metallic and 0.3. All right. Let's delete these nodes. So let's go to the ribbon. Let's grab the ribbon and make another material. But before that, let me go to the cap. Here, material. Or here, double click on the material. Let's call that cap. Here, changed. Here, changed. You have the cap material right there. So grab the ribbon, create another material. Let me copy the name and paste it right there. And maybe go red. Yeah, why not? Go red. And maybe a little bit less roughness to have shininess here and there. And maybe one more level of subdivision to make it smoother. All right. And it's time to add another node or a new node. They're called geometry. And it contains some stuff or some attribute from geometry right here. So the thing we need to use is pointiness, or in another softwares called curvature. Let's go ahead and add a color ramp right there. Let's grab the geometry, pointiness, the factor input, and use the shift control left click to preview that node. And let's use the slider to make the selection tighter. As you can see, this is the pointiness, this is the actual curvature. So let's play with this slider and target these areas. So I'm gonna apply different color to different areas. So here I want that to be a little bit more maybe shiny and also brighter color. So to do that, I'm going to move this nodes right here, and it's time to meet new node, and they're called mix color or mix RGB. So with this node, you have an option to mix two nodes or two colors or even two noise together based on a factor or a factor and blending mode, just like Photoshop, or just combine them together with the blending mode. So let's go ahead and use this color ramp or this pointiness as a factor. This is our mask, basically. Factor is a mask. All right. I'm gonna use this A color, the base color. Use this eyedropper and change it to this color as a first color. This is our base, and this second one is the color showing here. So the mask driving the B color. Let's go first of all choose the same color, and now drop the maybe value a bit. No, Let's go a little bit lighter. Kind of like this. All right. Now let's see the result, connecting this to surface. We have something here, as you can see. Let's go maybe more yellowish. Yeah, that's the stuff. And you can drive that even more by changing the handles in the color ramp right there. Not bad. Let's connect the output of the mix color to base color, connect the surface to surface. And this is the result. Maybe add a little bit more darker red to the base color. Yep. That's good. Back to the color ramp and basically make it a little bit more smooth. Transition right there. Right. So, roughness though. Roughness of 0.2. That's too much. 0.4. Yeah, that's good. For this one, let's go ahead and use the sheen. After all, this is some kind of a fabricating. And let's go ahead and do kind of yellowish, reddish, maybe orangish color right there. Right. That's good. I'm happy with this. And yeah, let's go to the next material. First of all, save the project. And that would be the glass. All right. For the glass or the bottle, we copy the name, add a new material. Let's call that bottle. For the bottle, I'm planning to use the principled BSDF combining with another shader. Yeah, you can combine shaders even based on mask. So I'm going to use a volumetric to make some part of this glass even thicker or appear thicker. So to do that, I'm going to search for mix shader, mix color. That was the node we used with the ribbon. So mix shader, combining or mixing two shaders. All right. Let's go right click, add another shader, and that's going to be volume absorption. With this, we're actually faking the thickness of the glass. I'm going to use two of these nodes. So basically, combining these two nodes with a mask of gradient, I'm going to make the bottom part thicker. So I need one to drive the thickness for the whole glass, and another one to drive the bottom. So let's see. Let's go maybe a purpley color, and shift T, duplicate this. The second one drives by the mask, so this is the whole bottle, the first one. To make the mask, let's go ahead and space search for gradient texture. All right, this is a gradient texture and contains different type of gradient, linear and easing and radial and other stuff. For this one, I'm gonna use the linear one. So I need texture coordinate. So I'm gonna use the Control T hotkey with the node wrangler, and let's go Control Shift and left click. This is our gradient right here. So let's go rotate that in Y axis. Let's go minus 90 and scale that by 0 right here. All right. Add add another color ramp here after texture, gradient texture. And let's go make that hider also inverted. We have an invert node. Let me see. Invert color. And if I put that after color ramp, you see it's making it invert. But less node is better. So let's go delete that and grab this white handle, push it all the way here, and that makes it inverted. Let's go look really close. Push it maybe over here and change the linear up here to ease. Make the transition a bit smoother. Alright, I'm gonna use this color as a mask. So let's make the base glass. So glass is transmission. So let's go grab the transmission all the way to 1. All right. And this is frosty because we have the roughness. So the roughness, I don't want any roughness right now. We're gonna make a custom roughness in a second. So let's drop it. And it's glass. And what that white stuff inside, that's liquid mesh. So let's, for now, where's heart here? So let's go hide everything right there. Yeah, that's simple glass with thickness, but not that kind of thickness I want. All right. And the IOR. So IOR of the glass is 147, I believe, or 1.5. Let's go a little bit less, 1.4. So 1.4. Yeah, that's thin glass. And for the thing I said before, the thickness, let's connect the mix shader to the volume. Right? Now, let's drive the base volume. If I grab this density and drag it, as you see, the color of the glass is going to change, and it's actually a volumetric stuff in the thickness, the where is it, the solidify. So that makes it a field with this color. It's basically what it's doing. So for the whole glass, let's go make it maybe 10 or even less. Let's decide that later. And for the bottom part, let's see, let me go to the front view and see what's happening right here. Let me go all the way up. Maybe even, let's for now say 50. And see, the bottom part is getting thicker. And the beauty of this color ramp is we can add another handle right here and another handle right here. Make this one maybe black, and let's go another handle here and make this one also black. All right, and drive the thickness. Right now it's in here, it's hard to see, but it's there. Let me go make it white. Also this one white. Yeah, it's white. And let's drive it up here. It's going up. It's in the neck. Let's go even higher. Let me show or preview this color ramp by Control Shift and click. Here we have another white stuff up here. So let me push it even higher. So let's delete this handle, go all the way up, and here. Now if I preview the surface, you see we have the same thing up here. So we can add a lot of handles and drive the thickness. Not gonna use this one, so let me drag delete and make it black. Let's put this a little bit higher. So here, not bad, not bad at all. All right, we're gonna get back to this material and change other stuff. But for now, let's go back to the cap and copy all of this bump. Right click and copy, and select the glass. Right click, paste. Right, and connect this bump to the normal. And we have some bump on the glass. Let's make them bigger by dropping down this scale. And by doing that, we're basically distorting the surface right there. It's an old glass, so it's not perfectly made like glass made in a factory, so it has some imperfection. So yep, that's good. And we can use this one, this noise, to drive the roughness. So let's grab a color ramp and feed it with the factor. And let's see that with Control Shift left click and drive right there. For this one, let's go and duplicate this note, the noise, and fit it there. Add a little bit more detail right here and scale it up right there. Maybe even bigger. And let's go move that by Z. All right. Now I'm gonna connect this to roughness. But if I connect that right now with the perfect black and gradient of great white, it's gonna look like this. The white areas are frosty and the black areas are shiny. So I don't want that. Let's grab this white handle and change the color to gray. Now the effect is subtle right here. All right, this is our glass network. Go to the where is it? Liquid. So we copy and create another material. Let's call that liquid. All right, for the liquid, I want glass. I want glass with less IOR. So the IOR of water was that 1. So 1 or 1.1. So 1.1 or 1 as IOR and transmission of 1 and roughness of 0. So let me hide the bottle. And this is basically our water. Let's go 1.1. Yeah. But better looking, but it's kinda like a magnifier. Let's go back to the 1. All right, the other stuff doesn't matter. Let's not change anything. The only thing we need to change is the volume input. So it's time to add another shader, and that would be principled volume right here. We made let's say smoke and cloud with this node, but here I want the area to fill it with something. So that something's going to scatter these lights we didn't add. So I'm gonna add that later. Scatter that light and kind of make it like a light in the fog. So I'm gonna make fog actually inside. So density, let's go ahead and maybe 0.1 or maybe 2. And the color, let's make it red. All right. We can't see anything because we don't have any light source inside. So if I drag it up, you see, it's gonna fill the area, the inside the liquid with this stuff. So for now, let's go maybe 0.2. All right. That's basically is our liquid. It's gonna change later after adding the light. So let's go for the heart here. You see the heart inside? Yeah. Let's copy the name. I'm lazy. I don't want to type it. All right. Grab that and let's go for the heart, the actual heart, not the bubbles. Let's go metal. Why not? Let's go metal and almost no roughness. We wanted that to be reflective. And for now, that's basically it. I'm not gonna mess with that too much. All right. And next thing is the bubble stuff. So let's go grab the sphere, the simulation mesh. I actually changed this collection to sim mesh. Let's go grab this sphere, or let's call it sim mesh. Add a new material. Let's call that sim mesh, and here. For this one, I want it to be transmission. So weight all the way up. Let's go hide the bottle and the liquid and grab the timeline here. Drop roughness, and that's basically a water almost. So one important thing is to right click on the bubble mesh and shade it smooth. Same thing here. I believe, no, I can't do that. But we have option here for data of this metaball to change the resolution. I don't want to do that for now. Makes it really heavy. So back to the heart then. Where is it? Here. Back to the heart, and let's go select this metaball and basically assign the same material. Where is it? Sim mesh. And let me go to the overlays and uncheck the outline selection right here. All right. Next thing for the bubbles. Water. Let's go ahead and add 0 point maybe 2 for emission. Colored. For now, right here, and we might change it. Maybe white is better. Yeah, and 0. Yeah, and transmission IOR 0, and also 1.1. Let me see. No, let's go even higher. Let's go 2. Let's go 3. maybe IOR of ice. So drop the strength of emission and make the color white again. Let's do the rest in render time. So for now it's good. Pretty much happy with the result. After adding the light, the inside's gonna be even more interesting. All right, save your project and let's go for the lighting then.